I ask you if you got vaccinated, but if so, why'd you get vaccinated?
For the greater good and for.
Boy, does it work or does it not work?
Yes, but.
Okay, well then, never mind.
The science just said that there's people who are vaccinated who are carriers.
From time to time, that occurs. It is rare, but yes, it does. It happens.
People wear masks to take care of their fellow Mississippians.
And if you really want to make sure that you, as a vaccinated Mississippian that has no symptoms, does not pass the virus to your fellow man, if you really want a virtue signal, then why are you here in this room? Why don't you go to your house, lock yourself up in the house? Because you will not give it to anybody if you don't see anybody. But again, there are risks associated with everything that we do, and there are ways in which to minimize and mitigate that risk, and we encourage individuals to do that. Yes, sir.
Dr. Dobbs, could you put a bit into context for us how rare it is for a vaccinated person to be a spreader?
Yeah, so I don't know that we really know. I mean, we know it can happen. And I think one of the things that the governor had mentioned, if you have two vaccinated people together and one of them happened to have it, then, you do have a stair-step continued decline. So, that's why it's so important for everybody around each other to be vaccinated. I think that's huge. I mean, it does happen. I said earlier it's about it's about 2/3 effective at preventing any viral shedding, I think. I mean, it's still early to see, and it's like 88% at symptomatic illness and high in the 90% at preventing, hospitalization and death. So it's a tiering thing. It's a lot of vaccines are this way, and we know they are. But if you have a bunch of people who are vaccinated together, that is actually a pretty safe scenario.
The only thing I would add to that is, and again, to be clear, when you look at Dr. Dobbs says it was a tiered deal, and of course I agree with that. But when you look at this vaccine and the tiers and where they start, in comparison to the flu vaccine, for instance, it starts at a much higher level of tiered system or a much lower level of risk. I mean, most of the time the flu vaccine is 55-60% effective. The trials on these Moderna and Pfizer say it's 95-96% effective. And so if it's 95 to 96% effective to keep you from getting the virus, and then there's a 2/3 less likely chance that you can spread the virus even if you get it. So we're going down to 5 to then 2/3. And then if you want to put a mask on top of that, should you choose to do so, you're taking maybe another 0.5 to 1% overall risk decline by doing so. Does it help? Sure, it'll help. And so if as an individual you want to make that decision, then I think that's great. Again, I don't support mass shaming on either side.
Governor, what are your thoughts on mandating vaccines for state employees?
I have no intention of mandating vaccines for state employees. I think that's a choice. Look, I spoke to an individual earlier today, and I don't know all the details around some of the conditions that he has. But he's been advised in a way that he's made the decision to not get vaccinated, and that's a decision that he made. It's an extremely personal decision, and I think that's okay. But again, that's rare, and in which that should be the case. But I don't have any intention of mandating vaccines for any state employee or for anyone else, although I encourage them to get it.
What do you think about the cities where, like, for example, the mayor of Jackson is mandating for city workers? What do you think about city and county leaders mandating?
Look, I didn't know that the mayor of Jackson was mandating vaccines. I don't know that he has the legal authority to mandate vaccines. But again, that's between him and his employees. I don't think. I think that there should be a distinction between private sector entities and public sector entities. I don't believe public sector entities have the authority to mandate vaccines. I don't think private sector entities should mandate vaccines. But if an individual doesn't like what their boss is doing, I guess they can go find another job.
So you're against the vaccine mandate that we've had for years to
I'm against the vaccine mandate for the emergency use authorization of this particular vaccine.
Would that change what after it received full authorization?
I'm not going to speculate on that. I've heard Dr. Fauci say for the last 3 weeks that any day now there is no longer going to be EUA. Maybe he's right. Maybe he's not. But I don't anticipate anticipate mandating vaccines for COVID at this time at the state level.
For other diseases, it's okay.
I think clearly there's been statutes in place in Mississippi that the legislature has passed numerous laws that require that for young individuals, and so that's certainly decisions that have been made in the past.
So are
Do
you
you think
part
those
of
laws
that?
should exist?
Come again?
Do you think those laws should exist? The laws that have been made in the past that mandate vaccines for certain illnesses for children?
Look, I mean, y'all are going down some silly rabbit trails now. Here's the reality.
There are people who want to repeal those, though. So
There are, well, and that's fine. They can try to repeal those, and I wish them the best of luck in doing so, if that's what they think they want to try to do. I am not supportive of a vaccine passport. I am not supportive of mandating the vaccine for COVID-19, period.
But you never answered the other question.
Yeah, Governor, if there's a serious effort, and I mean, there were people having discussions about this, you can see it online, people who oppose the current vaccine mandates for children before they can attend school or daycare. If there's a serious effort to repeal that, and Mississippi does have the strongest in the country, what is your stance?
Well, so again, y'all talking what ifs. If they try to repeal what statute, what does the statute say? What does it require? Again, I need to know details before I'm going to make a decision on whether or not I'm going to support a piece of legislation or not. And so I'm happy to look at a piece of legislation that is moving through the legislative process and make a determination on it one way or the other. I'll be happy to do that. But I'm not going to sit up here and answer every crazy idea that y'all can come up with, because it's not productive. Again, a wise man once said, the main thing is to always keep the main thing the main thing. And the main thing that we want everyone who is watching today to understand is that we believe that the vaccine is effective. We believe that it is safe. We believe it helps protect you from COVID-19. There are breakthrough cases and there are risks associated with it, but we believe the risk of not taking the vaccine is far greater than the risk of taking it, and we encourage you to do so. That's the main thing, and that's what we need to focus on. So I think we've been here an hour and a half. I appreciate everyone for coming and asking your questions. I hope y'all stay